Look in my eyes for my mind state. I'm on the grind 25 days. Money on my mind, that's how I play. If you got it now, that's what I say. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait.
Oh boy. We here. Once again, another guest. First time using IG Live.
Am I doing this? Maybe second time. I did one in my garage once.
Ooh.
Everybody, I'm trying to follow everybody else.
Hey.
Everybody on.
Oh, y'all get quiet when Kofi up in here, huh? It's real quiet up in here.
You know what to do. Out here.
Should we do it? We haven't done it in a while.
So.
Yep.
There you go.
Funk is on the road. Funk is on the road.
Hey, somebody get on the road. It's about to get funky up in here. Say what? Somebody call my mama. Say I. Somebody call my mama. Hit me. What you say? What you got? What you got for me? Okay, I'm done.
I don't think there's a better icebreaker in the world than that right there.
Funkasaurus. Wow.
Yes. Man, episode 24, episode Kobe, man.
That's right.
And we got the
That's
Kobe
right.
Bryant of the WWE right here, man.
Oh God, that's you're too kind.
Hey, I said it and I mean it.
He dropped that. He dropped that.
I was holding that one in my pocket for a minute.
The Kobe.
You see it?
The Kobe. Right.
In case y'all don't know, Swerve City Podcast.
Right here.
Is that it? He's here.
Follow us. Yeah, see, that's a former WWE champion IG Live right there, man.
Yeah.
We in here. We got time with Kofi. He took a lot of time out of his day to come in here.
Oh, come on, man.
Support us, man.
It ain't nothing.
Shoot, there's everything to us.
It ain't nothing.
And some the folks here. Look at the team right here.
Yeah. I'm digging this setup, man. This is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like in these dire times, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's finding a way to kind of foster their creativity, man. And like literally from the moment you walk in the door, you show me your little studio out there. You know what I'm saying? And then your real studio in here. I see everybody. This is everybody who's been on the show.
These are people I've worked with over the past years, like British Strong Style up there, Morrison. Like I worked with all these people. Like
it's great.
Yeah, Ultimo Dragon I wrestled.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wrestled him. North Carolina. I think you weren't there on that one. But yeah, that was an NGW over there. Yeah, shout out NGW, Cody Ford, bro. Yeah.
I'm digging the vibe though.
Yeah, thank you, man.
For real.
I'm digging this vibe, man.
Shout out Sagasi.
Yep. So, last episode we had Austin Theory, episode 23. We got real with him, but even though like in such a short career that he's had so far, his mind is like 10 years ahead already.
Oh yeah.
And so now we're going opposite. We have someone with a lineage as far as you,
whose mind is going.
Shoot.
Who is regressing? Is that what you're trying to say? The opposite?
I would say y'all between the three of you, Big E and Xavier, man, y'all are like moving the business forward years ahead with everything y'all doing within the wrestling business and outside of it. I think y'all opened up a whole new lane.
We appreciate it too, man. We try to keep that in the forefront of our mind. You know, we take a lot of pride on having our finger on like the pulse of pop culture
which
and
is
whatnot.
Always hard to do.
So, you know, between mainly with Woods and E, because they're on social media and everything a lot more than I am. You know, they tell me what's popping. You know what I'm saying?
That's his job.
You know, yeah.
He always sends me the links. I'm like, you heard about what happened? What's the name? I'm like, no. They got the link.
This happened on whatever. And did you hear about this? You want to say something about it in the promo? I'm like, sure, okay, I'll say it. And then of course, we go on social media and it always pops off. So but it's all good, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. So how's everybody been? What's going on, Swole? Swole got a new house.
Oh,
new house.
Praise the Lord.
Okay.
Yes, closing on our first house in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, so Thursday. Yeah, cannot wait.
That's a big deal.
Right? Adulthood.
That's officially adulthood.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to thank the Lord and I want to thank the Air Force.
Hey. What's been going on, Teasy? I've been getting this man cardio back, bro. We just played some basketball earlier.
Oh, really?
Hooping, man.
Ooh, yeah.
Hooping right, man.
With these young kids,
but
too.
They said the jumper the last thing to go, and it's still there, baby.
Okay.
So,
you still got it.
I still got it. It's just that athleticism got to catch back up. But once I get there, I'll be all right. But, yeah, we just came from hooping. Had some fun doing that, getting the cardio out. currently doing features. I got a lot of features. We're going to talk about someone that you know very dearly pretty soon. That person, I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
But you know he's a rapper and you're tight with him.
Dope.
And, you know, just been working, man. We've got a lot of content coming. There's a lot of content that we're putting out from Humble Beginnings. Me and Swerve's album's now out on all digital markets as well. If you guys haven't copped that, make sure you guys cop that album. It is a classic masterpiece. And I hope you guys are enjoying that. So that's it with my life, man.
Okay.
Man, and before we go any further, we always, I got to show love to Around Seattle, our sponsor for the podcast. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the lights that we have. We wouldn't have the microphones. We wouldn't have the curtains, the banner. We all owe this all to you, Around Seattle. And he helped out with the studio over there, the equipment. He just sent in that foam and the silence pads over there. So, man, shout out Around Seattle. You're doing your thing. Appreciate the love, and you keep going. Keep showing us more and more. We don't deserve you.
You got the hookup.
Maybe not me, but moving on. All right. To the legend himself, Mr. Kofi Kingston. What's been going on, man?
I mean, you know, just living like everybody else. I've been saying this in a lot of different interviews and whatnot that we've had, or that I've had anyway. You know, it's something where, like, we are in these, like, the quote is, these dire times or these trying times and whatnot. There's obviously, like, a lot of uncertainty going on in the world today. But the glass half full scenario for me is that I've gotten to spend so much, like, quality and quantity time. You guys ever watch Hey Arnold?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And Helga's dad was, do you remember that episode, Quantity Time? We're gonna Quantity Time. So I didn't joke about that, but I've gotten to spend quality and quantity time with my family, and it's been awesome, you know? Just playing, like, checkers and chess with my oldest son. My youngest son finally starting to get it too, you know, he just turned 4. They both had birthdays a week and a half ago. I got to be home for both of them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's, you know, things are going to go back to normal at some point in time. But for right now, again, like, just in a state of trying to stay positive, being able to spend time with my family, with my wife. We haven't spent this much time together. You know what I'm saying? And she still likes me. You know what I mean?
It's almost like learning a new person all over again.
Yeah. So it's been great. It's been great all around, you know. And we just go out and we try to do what we do, you know, and try to keep it moving one day at a time.
Man, I want to go into the influence you have on not just the wrestling industry, but, like, the WWE universe, man. Like, so I was, like, thinking about this earlier. I'm like, yo, you know what's funny? You know you've, like, made your mark in the industry when you become an archetype for people to follow. You know what I mean? I love the word archetype because I play some NBA 2K. Archetype is a big deal to me. So, but saying, like, yo, I want to carve my career like a Kofi Kingston, like a Brock Lesnar. Like, you become one of those archetypes. And if it wasn't for you and everything that you've done in your career, the past, like, what, going on almost 20 years now?
Ooh, career now? Oh, geez. On TV, I think a little over 12 total.
Yeah.
Not much longer than that. Maybe, is it almost 20? No. Maybe closer to 15.
15,
Closer to 15.
Don't put yourself all the way up there.
I was about to say.
I knew that.
It feels like, so I've been
Time
I've seen it
just
since I was a freaking adolescent, before that, pre-adolescent. So it feels like that so much more. But, like, talk about, like, being an it feels like you carved a path for, like, guys like myself, guys like Cedric Alexander, guys like Apollo Crews to, like, fill that Kofi Kingston, boom, that archetype. And like, you want to, I feel like that's a goal that everybody wants to become.
About to say, I see what you did there with the
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You throw two more of them in there, we start talking Jamaican.
Who is this man? Security?
I know this. Too much.
Oh man, but I appreciate you saying that, man.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get, like, too emotional in this interview here,
man.
Because I already kind of start feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
feel it.
It's a huge sense of pride. Obviously, to be the first African-born champion. It's crazy that WrestleMania happened over a year ago, you know?
Yeah.
Because I get tweets and messages every single day about people talking about how they were impacted positively by that moment. And I remember that day, and I've said it again, like, a bunch of different interviews, so forgive me if I sound like a broken record. But so many people were so emotionally affected, man. Like, I saw people jump, as soon as I ended up winning. a whole bunch of people were jumping up and down and hugging each other, hugging strangers, you know, grown men in bars crying, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
we had little kids doing the same exact thing. Bro, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, the love that came from that moment. And then obviously with, you know, Woods and E, like without them, none of this happens at all. You know what I'm saying? So the journey that we've been on, and it was me that was holding the championship title, but that image right there is like we talked about that. You know, you talk about affirmation and just envisioning something happening. You know, Woods would go in interviews all the time and talk about, oh, you know, my only goal is to see Kofi Kingston as WWE champion.
That's
and I kind of laugh it off, but then all of a sudden Ali gets hurt. You know what I mean? And then I'm called upon to fill this role. We go into these gauntlet matches. And then all of a sudden, like, the people start thinking, like, oh, my gosh, like, you know, this is close. It's going to happen, you know? So eventually it did, you know, and I'll never forget in Houston at the Elimination Chamber when people, you know, it was up to me and Brian, last two. I just eliminated Randy Orton, and the crowd was just going nuts, you know, and I never felt that kind of love from a crowd before. You know, it was just, you know, you like, it's so hard to describe because it's something that you feel in this industry where it's supposed to be entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. How is it that we impact people in such a meaningful way? You know, you like strive to have those moments, and I'm just grateful that I was able to have a moment like that. And then there were so many just like serendipitous like moments that led up to this moment. You know, so for me to have to like fight for 11 years, if I were to come in the first day and win the WWE title, awesome, cool, not nearly as motivating. You know what I'm saying?
Have those dips and those highs
dips
and barriers to go through.
Yeah,
absolutely. That builds this. That builds that,
man. And that was all part of the story. And I didn't realize until like those gauntlet matches in the Elimination Chamber as well, like that everybody who has been watching for the past decade has been coming along with that story, you know, and not just people of color, but also like everybody who has struggled. I think that's why, that's the key that, you know, that enabled everybody to get behind this story, because it was very real. You know, it wasn't like someone came up to me and said, hey, you know, in 11 years, we're going to pay this off. We're not going to let you sleep the title for a decade. And then on the 11th year, we're going to come through and let you have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't write this. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, if Ali doesn't get hurt, this moment doesn't happen. If Woods and E don't approach me about being in the New Day, this moment doesn't happen. You know, being able to, like, share that moment with my kids in the ring, we sacrificed so much. My wife in the ring, too. Like, they've sacrificed so much for me to be here, for me to do this. You know what I'm saying? And for them to be in the midst of 85,000 people cheering and to feel that energy, man, at such a young age, like, I hope that they understand like what the sacrifices were all about and what they were all for. Like, this picture means so. Like, you know, my oldest son, you saw him in there. He just ran right up to the second rope, starts throwing out T-shirts, and like, you just feel that energy, man. He just, you know. So again, if this happens, you know, 11 years ago, like, they don't get to experience this moment, you know. So it just doesn't. You know, being born in Ghana, this year, 2019 was the year that the president declared as the year of return. He encouraged all members of the Ghanaian diaspora to come back to the motherland and get reacclimated with the land. How is it that this, of all years, is the year that that all this stuff happens? You know what I'm saying?
It
like,
culminates, man.
It's crazy. And then getting to take the title back to Ghana and share and show kids everywhere that the most prestigious title in the history of wrestling has a very Ghanaian name on it. Kofi in Ghana is like Mike or Ja, you know, like really just popular. It was so empowering for me to be at the center of all of that. Is just, it's humbling, and I take a lot of pride in being the guy that can, you know, motivate people to go out and do anything and, you know, hang in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep fighting no matter what, because anybody who has struggled, like, knows that their highs and lows, like you said, you know, and you just have to fight through them with the hope that, you know, there's my mom right there too, you know, and that's me with the president of Ghana.
That's incredible.
And,
that's what's up, man.
You know, so just the way that everything laid out, even like I hadn't been back to Ghana in 26 years. And my mom had wanted me to go back, and, you know, being on the road as a WWE superstar, you don't get the chance to just, I'm going to take a vacation, I'm going to go to Ghana. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're fortunate to be booked week in, week out, and it's a gift and a curse because you do spend a lot of time away from home, but this is your dream, and this is what you want to do. Like, you want to be booked. A lot of times if you're not booked, like, it's not for a good reason. You're either hurt or you're not being used. So I've been real fortunate to have been booked for the past decade. So they were shooting the documentary, The 24, and I asked the dude, and I was like, hey, it would be really cool if I took the championship title back to Ghana, like, you know, like, yeah, we're all about it. And they came, brought the whole film crew, we documented all of this. And I hadn't seen my grandmother in probably about 25 years, 20, you know what I'm saying? So I got to go back. Originally, we were going to go back in August, and then we pushed it up to June. We went back, had this. It was 4 days, but it felt like just the love I felt, like we just nonstop. I felt energized the whole time. Everyone was just loved the whole way. And got to see my grandmother, you know. Within, I think 3 weeks after I left, she passed away. So
I'm sorry to hear
that. You know, it is as like sad as it is. If I decided to go in August as opposed to June, we would have just missed each other.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like, and this all happened. It's just so serendipitous on like so many different levels. So
But Drake said God's plan.
it's crazy.
Oh,
It's crazy. It's crazy. So long-winded. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but,
no,
you know,
please. Take all your time, man.
Yeah.
We got so much more to get into.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to have to cut the feed on this Instagram
boy.
Live,
Well,
man.
hey, boy.
Yeah. The only way you're going to finish
boy.
and see the rest of this podcast, this great interview with Mr. Kofi Kingston right here, is if you subscribe to the youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast. It'll be posted by next week. Yeah. But we'll be dropping some nice little gems between. The Chit Trap just shouted. The Chit Trap that we did with Damian Priest just dropped today on YouTube. Go check that out.
Okay.
And the episode with Austin Theory has dropped. Episode 23. Episode Jordan. Episode Jordan.
There
on
we go.
youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast.
That's
Check it
how you
out.
spell it.
Boom.
Cutting it off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Peace.
You only get a piece of that love.
Macho Man said, just a piece.
Man.
All right. So I'm gonna tell my story. Listen.
Oh.
So when your match started going on, now we was in the back and catering, just
Yeah.
being all nice and prim and proper like we do on every WrestleMania. We all
I was in the street.
I was in the
street.
I had a ticket.
I was getting a
a
ticket.
nice Christian wife in the back with Tasha Steeles and Faye Jackson.
Okay.
et cetera. We was just sitting there.
How they get in there but not me?
Listen, this ain't about you. This ain't
Okay.
So your match is about to start, and Seth goes, "All right, I'll see you later, babe." I'm like, "But where you going? The match is about to happen." He was like, he's like, I'm finna go watch it out there," and I was like, "Oh, we finna go watch."
Well, come on then.
Right,
Let's
so
go.
He's like, "Well, okay, well, if you gonna come on." In front of Jazz, in front of all of them, I took my heels off in the middle of catering, and we ran to where the fans were right in front of hard cam. Like, it was right in front of hard cam, and like people were like trying to ask for autographs and stuff. He's like, but this ain't about us. This is about what's going on right here.
We need to channel our energy.
You talk about somebody out there just with no shoes on, just out there Britney Spears circling like 2009, just screaming.
Yeah.
Man, we were so proud. We were so happy. We were like, yeah, so happy you won. But also, we was like, that after party finna be big. It was. Oh, man.
The before party was litty.
Before
Wale Mania, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I first met you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Wale Mania was crazy, man.
I was sitting there with my grandmother watching it, right? And we're in the stands. We're watching the whole match happen. And when you won, she sat back. She said, "I didn't think I was ever going to live to see this."
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
my
my
grandmother
God.
said, "She's like, I don't think I was ever going to live to see this happen."
Wow.
She's like, watching wrestling all these years and finally seeing this happen. She was so happy. We were, oh my God, man! It was just, it's a feeling where it's just, it's so rare that when it happens. You like it feels like for something the world just stopped and everybody came together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
the
Everybody
world
stopped
just
arguing.
stopped.
Nobody was fighting.
Nobody was
Right.
bickering.
Yeah.
For the first time, everybody on social media got along.
Nobody.
Like, it was
Yeah. Nobody was critiquing.
Nobody was critiquing nothing.
Yep.
There was no four.
They're like, I wish
4
you
out of
took a
10s,
little more time in the
nothing.
entrance.
Yeah,
How
everybody
funny.
was happy.
Right.
Everybody was
it's crazy.
communionized. Yeah. So now we're gonna get past this. I mean, this is.
I know.
Don't don't want to leave this moment
That's
right
the
here.
one, that's the one, man.
Yeah, we don't want to
That's-
leave
that's
that.
crazy.
But now we're going to talk about the mentor, the leader, the locker room leader that Kofi Kingston is now. What do you see in the locker room now with the young guys? There's a lot of young talent coming up the locker rooms right now.
It's really exciting, man. Mainly, so especially like, so 205 Live to me is like the best kept secret. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Like, y'all are so talented. Like, they're and every match, like everything is so crisp, and people are doing things that I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't come in right now because I can't do any of that.
Brother,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm starting to slip and not be able to do it anymore.
but it's crazy, man. It's exciting though. It really is exciting. Again, like I try to so I remember like back in my day, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times like the higher ups would get mad if like you didn't come to them and ask them for advice about it'd be like something like you're mad about it, you know? And for me, it's like I don't mind if you want my advice or not. Like, it's cool because everyone's entitled to like, you know, getting on to or having their own journey and making their own mistake. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. If you go out and you do what I want you to do, like, you're not getting better. You're a puppeteer. You know what I'm saying? You're a puppet. I'm just the one that's pulling the strings. You know what I mean? So, I'm always there, you know what I'm saying, for people to come to me and ask me for my advice and my experience, and I'm more than happy to give it, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people like these days have a lot more experience, whether it be on the independents or wherever, in other places that are not to be named, you know what I'm saying? Hey. But, you know, it's like, it's like...
They don't know yet. They don't know yet.
But it's all, you know, people are very like well-traveled, you know, and you have a lot of experience before you even step into a WWE ring. Now, granted, like WWE is different than anything else, and a lot of times like the experience level kind of resets as you have to relearn, like I guess the style or like just the system, you know, and it's different from person to person. You know what I'm saying?
Very
like there are people who come in and, you know, you get the rocket. And it's like, we want you to do this. And there are other people who come in, they have to grind and find a way. You know, the door is closed and they have to find a way to get into the window, but the window's locked, so they try to climb through the chimney and come down. And, you know, they try to go dig a hole underneath the foundation and come through. You have to find a way, you know? So
he always talks about that. Like, he's like, some guys are just, they get that path right there, but sometimes we got to be the ones that, like, we got to low crawl a little bit.
Right.
We got to go through the little dirt a little bit.
You got to just grab that hard hat, grab your lunch, and just put in 8 hours and clock up for 30 minutes for lunch. Some people just have to do that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Is there
and
like,
everything.
Is there like a fulfillment, like with you being an elder statesman, you know, you being around such a long time, do you get a fulfillment of someone that you might have seen that you helped come up that is like just fulfilling as you winning the title yourself? Somebody you've seen that you're helped mentoring that is coming up and you're like watching their success and you're like, well, okay,
yeah, absolutely. And a funny story is Xavier, before, so we were in Deep South in developmental, you know what I'm saying? And I remember just I think I was like actually in the ring. All of a sudden the door swings open. Everyone stops. Crickets. Who came in this? You know, who dares to come in this house? Xavier Woods, eyes wide open, dressed up in a suit, you know, has his resume. Like, oh, what's this guy doing here with the resume? But if you're going to a job, you're supposed to have your resume. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's like the backwards like culture. But he comes in, you know, hands his resume in, has like a wrestling tape. The next day, Deep South closes down. You know what I'm saying? Like literally the very next day, Deep South closes down. We open back up in Tampa a couple months later. And, you know, a few weeks after that, door swings open again. Stops, come through Xavier Woods. I'm like, wow, this dude, he got a suit on again, resume again, you know? So comes in, you talk about like grinding, and he's making these drives all the way from Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So it was awesome when I saw that he finally got hired, because granted, I wasn't like a huge part of his journey, but I was there when he came in. Like I saw the grind, you know? And then now just seeing how amazing of a mind he has for the business, you know? Very underrated, incredibly underrated. For a long time, people thought, oh, he's just the guy that plays on the trombone on the outside. No, like, number one, like, he's been around the way. And actually, me and E joke about it, Woods is kind of the veteran of our team because he's been wrestling the longest, you know? Yeah. So everyone thinks it's me because I've been on TV for a little bit longer or with us, but no, Woods has been like grinding for a very, very long time. So, it's a lot of people, when you see that determination, you know, you can't help but become fired up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always about like pushing people and helping them in any way that I can to get up to as high a level as they can get up to, you know, as opposed to like, whoa, this guy might take my spot. Let me see how I can hinder him. And, but you know, what, I don't know. I never understood that. I never understood that, because if you're confident enough in your skills, you shouldn't be worried about anybody else. You know, all you can do is go out and do as best as you can, you know, put forth the best matches that you can, just do as well as you can. That's all that you have control over.
But
you know?
talking about your story, you just explained it in your story, the whole climb. You never did it on your own. You never had, it wasn't just you. You had like Xavier, Big E, you had the setbacks, you had the push forwards, the catapult forwards, you had your family, you had the, like all that support system. If that falls apart, any part of that, you don't get to where you're going.
Exactly.
And we have to keep that same mindset for everything we do. Like without that, like, dude, 11 years for me, and two little girls, but managing military and jobs and quitting school and job to job to job to job to support the indie dream. If I didn't have my mom, my sister, the two mothers of my kids that were still like, hey, we got you. Don't have to worry about the girls. They're always going to be all right. That eases your mind to focus it on everything that you need to do to keep going forward. Yeah. So any of the, like, everybody needs to support and like truly help uplift the grinding man that's doing that, man. Right. Because like that's, without any of that, one of those pieces fall apart, the dream doesn't come true.
Yeah, and then from like a bigger picture perspective, the business will suffer if everyone's just trying to hold everybody down. Like, if you're really passionate about the business and you want the business to actually excel, then you have to do your part in pushing not only yourself, but pushing everybody to become the best and become as good as they can become, because that's going to make you want to become better. If you're on the roster, you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be the best. You see somebody that's, you know, doing things in a certain way and getting a certain reaction. You think, man, I want that. But you work as hard as you can to get that, not work to figure out a way to pull that person down. That doesn't make sense.
Take that away.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody just uplifts everybody, you know, and I think that's just best for business. I think that's best for karma, you know what I'm saying, for yourself, for your soul,
good life lessons.
And just life. Yeah,
man. Last night, man, Money in the Bank. By the time y'all watch this, it'll be a week later. But as of now, last night, Money in the Bank, man. Y'all keep showing how versatile you are with the tag teams. Even like. It's just crazy, like seeing, like we were just talking about, like all the people you teamed with over the years, between Punk, between Seidel, we got R-Truth, and you just always find a way. Like, how important is tag team wrestling for you, man? Like, I know we see it, how important it is, but like, to you deep inside, how important is that to just have that other partner, just changing the game still? Yeah,
it's important in a lot of ways, and that's a really good question. A lot of people don't ask that question. I think you say, like you need people like we were talking about to uplift you, and especially with like, you know, particularly with like Woods and E. Like, we went through so much ups and downs, you know, we had a vision of what we wanted to be. That idea got rejected, you know, we had to come back and come through with something else. We went back into Vince's office, tweaked whatever he wanted to have us do, you know, this was the process of about like 5 to 6 months, you know, every week going into his office and presenting something and then shooting stuff on our own. And then, you know, taking that, you know, Woods would, you know, compile it up and give it to Vince, and then he'd see it and be like, well, we want you to do this. And so then we just had to keep on tweaking. And then the end result was us being preachers, which was not at all what we wanted to do. But that was the opportunity that we had. You know what I'm saying? So if I didn't have those guys, like you know, you need to have somebody to get you through the ups and downs, because it can be number one, a lonely business. It can be a lot of trials and tribulations, and you know, it helps a lot to have people to lift you up. And in terms of like, so again, like Punk too, like one of the guys in the industry who I would consider to be like my brother, you know, helped me out when he didn't need to help me out. Like that was again like a point in time where like people were more about keeping other people down and worried about their spots being taken. And I remember about to go out for my debut, I'm sitting there doing like push-ups, you know, and I see a set of wrestling shoes at my feet, at my head or whatever. So I look up and there's Punk, and he's like, oh, you know, you just remember they're out here to see you. And I'm like, okay. And that kind of eased my nerves going out there. You know what I mean? But he didn't have to say that to me, you know? And then we become tag team champions together. And I learned so much, you know, because at the time he was WWE champion. And a lot of the, like the gripes and everything that you have, like on the undercard, sometimes you have on the top, you know? And I'm just like, oh man, like he's going through a lot of the same stuff that I am going through now. And then, you know, fast forward to like, being WWE champion, I was already prepared to go through whatever it is that I needed to go through, you know what I'm saying? And I was prepared to have to fight. You're not given anything just because you have the title. You still have to fight for what you want, you know? With R-Truth, always laughs, you know? I had so, my God, like so much fun. Just so much like the whole little Jimmy thing, man, like.
Yeah.
And then having to like figure out, because a lot of times I never knew what he was going to do. You know, and then you just have to play off of like this energy, and then like you can see the people getting into this imaginary boy. I think he's a boy. I don't know. I never saw him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I assumed he was a boy. I don't know. But it was just so much fun just being able to cut out, because up to that point,
good days.
Yeah, I was a fairly not necessarily like serious wrestler, but I didn't really have like a playful side, even though I was playing like a Jamaican character before. It was more like go out and fight, you know, oh, I'm gonna get beat down, well, I'm gonna fight and come back up. It wasn't anything that was like personality driven. Mm-hmm. So I was able to like capitalize on that with Truth. With Evan, it was like to see somebody who was so athletic up close, you know, was like, golly, and then so innovative too, you know, and he's a guy who's been around the way. So like, I learned a lot just being in that team, in that tag team, in terms of like putting matches together and doing things that were exciting, and like learning like where to put things. And oftentimes we'd be trying to outdo each other. You know, I'm seeing him do something cool. I'm like, well, I can do something like that too, you know? So, but it worked. And for a team that was just thrown together, you know, it worked out. It worked out as like two athletic dudes who were just, there they are.
Shout out Seidel.
Yeah, man. But every partner that I've had, I've learned so much from, and I just think I'm so like fortunate to have come across these guys, and then also being able to like learn from them, because again, every piece of the puzzle means something. I would not be the performer that I am today if I didn't come into contact with all the people who I've met along the way. You know,
they're all shaping you to make you who you are.
Yeah,
That's
for
what
sure.
it seems like the industry is. It seems like the industry is like, I would say the percentages, the way I was like taught in music, it's like 70% give, 30% take. Yeah. And it's like you're naturally going to give more than you're able to take. If you think about some of the greatest music or the greatest movies that's been written, a lot of the directors gave up a lot of their best films to other directors because they knew they could make it better. Mm-hmm. Or even like a musician, there's so many classic songs that an R&B singer would give to another R&B star, and that song that they gave up, which was their baby, they gave to someone else.
Right.
Dolly Parton.
Right.
Yeah.
And it would,
Jolene, and I Will Always Love You in One Day.
Wow.
Absolutely. So he's like what you said, like how I mean with wrestling, like teaming up with people, learning what to, you know, how to be unselfish, put other people on, give other people advice, stuff like that. So that's what I relate that to in what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
So you on the road, bro. You might as well take Teasy Table.
First thing I wanted to bring up, man, I'd be wrong, and I told him I was going to do this, and this is my brother. The person I told you I was going to bring up earlier, my big bro, Mega Ran.
Hey!
My big bro.
Yeah.
The guy who, when he started doing wrestling music, I came after him. So I'm paying homage to Big Homie, and just seeing his climb. And I remember a few years ago when you guys first linked up with him, I know him and Woods was tight and got you all together.
Exactly.
I was so proud of him. I was texting him like, bro, you are really setting like ground with what you're doing. You know, tell me a little bit about your relationship with Mega Ran, because he was on this podcast as well.
Right, yeah. Mega, he's one of the coolest dudes I've ever met, man. Just real nice, and actually like my little brother like dabbles in music up north, you know, and he met Mega Ran like a while ago, and Mega Ran was like real cool with my brother, you know what I'm saying? So I always appreciate that, man. I feel like he is so humble, but so talented, you know, lyrically, you know, his ability to like, so when we had the rap battle with the Usos, which could have potentially been a train wreck, you know, we actually had,
fire, though.
Bruh, and Mega Ran, you know, like helped us kind of connect a lot of the dots that we wanted to connect, you know, from a lyrical perspective, because we are not rappers, you know, and I learned that through doing this rap battle and some other things, but yeah, he was instrumental in that sense, and just kind of like, kind of giving suggestions and he realistically, I would have listened to anything that he said because of what he's accomplished, but the way in which he just delegated or made suggestions to what we, it was in a very just suggestive way and not overbearing and you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you need to do. He's earned that right, you know what I'm saying, to tell us because he's been successful in his rap and in musical career, but the way in which he did it was I appreciated that, so yeah, I think, and we hung out with Ran in Vegas a couple times too, so yeah, just a real cool dude, and yeah, we had told this story on our podcast. So for WrestleMania a couple years ago, we were trying to get a different theme music for me to come out to, so it was like an ode to a little bit of SOS in there, but then it also had African drums in there, and Wale was on it rapping, and Mega Ran came up with the beat and everything, and his friend too, so it was fire. And then at the end of the day, they didn't want to use it, so it's one of those things where one day we go release the song and let everyone know what we wanted to do, but but again, even working with him in that sense was just seamless. There's a lot of people that we come across and they just fit right into our process. Michael Mosley, another one of Woods' friends who does all of our entrance gear. Robert Adams, who does our ring gear. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Davenport, who does all our designs for the gear and everything. These guys, they just fit right in. There's never any butting of heads, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it just feels good to have one of the things I love about wrestling is the creative process, whether it be coming up with a match, coming up with a freestyle battle, or whatever it may be, coming up with a gear design, and all of us are just clicking on all cylinders, and people are making suggestions, and then we're, taking a little bit off their suggestions and say, how about we tweak it like this? And by the time the finished product comes in, it's like the whole team of chefs done cooked a real good meal, and everybody's going to enjoy it. So it's one of those things where again, Mega Ran just fits right into what we do, same mentality and everything. So I can't speak.
Sounds like that podcast team. I'm just saying, this is Swerve City team. Bro, everybody, man.
It's that's amazing, man. So shout out to him, and that's kind of the thing when me and him started working on music. Kind of like how you said, you don't want to be overbearing to someone that's trying to creatively do something that fits them. Because it's not going to help him for me to be do it this way, do it. It's not going to help. Yeah. It's better for him to chef it and me be oh, okay, I see where you're going. Right. And that helps his creative process. Yeah. As opposed to you trying to be they do it this way. Right. Because it's not going to work. Yeah. So tell me a little bit, who are some of your favorite musicians? What are some of your favorite albums?
Oh, man. Whew. I'm really into Common Kings right now. Have you heard of them? So they're kind of a reggae-ish band from California. And I saw them actually. They got a lot of ooses in there. You know what I'm saying? And okay. Yeah. So I actually was at home and there was a concert. My wife is really into Michael Franti. My kids actually like Michael Franti's music too. Okay. And I ended up meeting him that night too. But anyway, we went to a concert in Austin, and Common Kings were opening up. It was Michael Franti, and there they go. Yeah, and they're big wrestling fans too. So the way that it turned out was they were actually. I think we had a show in Memphis, either the night before or 2 days before, and they were in Memphis the day before. So they went to our show, and then I happened to be at their show. So I'm hearing their music, and they had done some collab with Marvel for their intro, so they're playing their music, and then all of a sudden I hear the X-Men song. They put. I was like, who is this? And then they recognized me, brought my family and everything back, and everyone was so cool. We took pictures and everything, and we've kept in contact ever since. And I'm just a big fan of their music right now. So Common Kings is my stuff too. Michael Franti again. Another guy who's all about positivity, and sings a lot of, just spiritual / with an island type vibe, plays guitar and everything. But he's a positive dude too. And like I said, we met him that night and then ended up staying in touch. So those are the guys right now. I mean, little Roddy Ricch. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, I still can't stop listening to The Box.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I put it on repeat. You
What
know
a
what I mean?
creative song, dude.
Yeah.
God, that song's so creative.
Just be
Golly.
in the house going,
Yeah.
That young man is the wave right now,
It doesn't
boy.
have to be the song. You just hear something in the house
Yeah,
make that noise.
yeah,
And you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that
man.
boy, I can't wait to hear more music from him.
Yeah.
He's gonna have his catalog is gonna grow. How old is he actually, by the way?
Like, you like 22, 23?
Yeah, look at-
Let's
Yeah.
fact check that, but I know he's in his early 20s.
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes from here on out. Cause like I'm a Tyler fan.
21.
Okay.
21.
Yeah, I knew he
was.
Oh my God.
He ain't even hit his peak yet.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
Lord.
That's so crazy to me. That's so crazy to me.
So I'm seeing his 10-year process to where he's at now. It's like, oh man, his music grew like incredibly. So he's someone else I want to see
Yeah.
like 3, 4, 5 years from now what that content's looking like and where the growth is.
You guys ever hear of Mr. Hotspot?
No.
So man, I don't even know. So this was a dude that was on.
Find the mic.
Yeah, it was on Snoop's
Oracle.
Instagram, and he does a lot of like comedy on his Instagram page.
Oh, he's
but
hysterical.
My God, like
He's
he has some
hysterical.
song like something about smiling and everything. So that's another song I can't, But look up Mr. Hotspot, you'll see what I'm talking about. But he's hilarious too, So it's a lot of people, and then I like old school. I'm an
those are
Outkast
classics.
fan, like so that's
Some of them IG battles don't. Nobody want that smoke with
Come
Outkast.
on.
Nobody.
Oh no.
Undefeated. Undefeated. Yeah. That's
know?
undefeated. So let's take it over to Swole's world.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sis. Take it
said,
take it over, man. Take it over, man. Take it over, supervisor.
I say, if you belong, you can hear.
Who said that?
All black mamas. Anyway.
come
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Anyways. So, listen. During this time, everybody's in the house. Ain't doing nothing.
Stayed in the house.
It's right. How's that been for you? I know being on the road,
Yeah.
365, 24.7 is a lot.
25-8.
It is. It's one of those things too, and I mentioned it earlier. Like you're fortunate to be booked. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who want to be on the road a lot more, and myself included. Well, not that I can be on the road more than I already am, but I see it as a blessing to be on the road as much as I am, and to have been on the road consistently for the past decade or so. So having this time off, it's just it's awesome. It's just awesome in every way possible, just because, like I said, that quantity time, spending that quantity time with the fam and everything. And
Hit him with that
with
Martin
the
Lawrence
kids.
bad boy one. Quality time. Quality time.
Nobody told you it was going to equal distance learning.
Right.
Which has been,
Yeah.
you guys struggling
What,
like.
we actually already homeschool. So for us, and by we, I mean my wife.
Right,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
knew
But
what you meant. I knew you weren't doing
yeah. I go out. I play checkers with the boys. You know what I'm saying? Like us, I play some chess.
Like, Daddy, we just learned arithmetic today. We
Yeah,
don't want no
king
checkers.
me, son. King me,
All
son.
you-
That arithmetic,
all
king
you-
me, son.
You say arithmetic here is that PlayStation. Beep.
on the game. So I took your memory cards.
Yeah, man. So
What you took?
Hard drive. I took the whole thing out.
The whole thing.
You got one
Yeah.
gig. Use it wisely.
yeah, man. So, but it's been good. It's been good. Like I said, things will go back to normal, and we'll be back in the swing of things, and we won't be able to spend as much time. But for now, we just try to enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. Got a home gym coming in. You know what I'm saying?
Getting your swole on.
Yay!
So
You see what you did? Hey,
Thanks.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Don't scare him away now. You know?
Come on now. Don't get the show canceled now. Easy. Jesus.
Reel them back.
Yeah.
I can say something.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier though, about there being like a crazy shortage in like gym equipment right now, because everybody's trying to make home gyms right now. So I was in the same boat trying to get stuff, but now stuff is finally coming in. I picked up some horse stall mats. You know what I'm saying? For the gym floor in the garage. I've been meaning to clean out my garage. Yeah, they're about 3/4 of an inch. You know what I'm saying? So I've been trying to clean out my garage for about almost 10 years. So we lived in Tampa for about a decade. The stuff piled up. Moved to California for about 8 months. Brought the stuff with us. Then moved to Austin, Texas. Brought the stuff with us again. We said we had 2 garages, so I put, I just split them. It's like, oh, okay, the garage is clean now. It's not, you know. So it's not. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
there's only one garage. Now it's 2, and both of them.
Stuff everywhere.
It's funny with these home workouts, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to find things that are heavy in the house, and nothing heavy enough anymore. But when I moved in here, everything was the heaviest thing in the world. How'd everything get lighter all of a sudden? Then when I got to move eventually, it's going to be the heaviest thing again. I find that funny.
Yeah,
Gravity.
man.
Can't find nothing. Just resistance bands.
That's resistance bands workouts, and it's cool. It's been good, but I need to switch it up. So my stuff is coming in. As a matter of fact, when I came on the road, my first barbell came in from Rogue, so I had to put it in the garage and drive away, just eyeing it in the rear view mirror. It's like, I'll be back. Don't you worry, I'll be back for you with more weights. So
I will pick you
Don't
up.
worry about it, sweetheart.
I'll pick you up graciously.
Just split right there.
Yeah,
So what
man.
about that thumb workout? What you been on? What your sticks feeling like?
It's funny. So I don't really play games at home. Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad.
So you
I
be
know.
dusting them dudes on the road when you
Bruh,
just chilling?
the only time-
No workout.
The only time I
I've
play is on the
witnessed.
road.
I witnessed.
I mean, it depends on the game. Now it depends on the game, but I try
So,
to.
what game would you play at home?
So Mortal Kombat right now,
All right,
actually,
we can stop right
bro.
now. Look, that's
come
my
on.
all-time favorite game.
Come on.
Listen,
We
I was
gonna
getting these
get
braids
more into
in
this
today, and I was like, I feel like sitting
Yeah.
down in this. Look.
Yeah.
Watch out,
You start screaming.
One thing I picked up, he's a walk away, one of the players. When some were like, miss pass. Psh.
I seen it. I seen it.
I get emotional.
Oh yeah,
I get emotional, and I
He's a
can't
walk
help
away.
it. It's for me. It's a release because all of us.
for me.
I came up on video games, and then when my son was born, I wasn't able to play because there's a lot of things that I should be doing at home, and I can't just play video games, and I should be cleaning the house or doing something else,
No, what was you circa 2013?
Yeah.
What was hot in 2013? What was out? What was
In
hot?
2013?
Yeah, what was hot?
Ooh.
Yeah.
We don't. That was actually the bad one
Oh, is that?
of 2013. Yeah, I think that was the what of 2K. Mine.
Oh, Last of Us.
I thought you were talking about
Bro.
2K. I have a love-hate relationship.
It
with
is.
2K.
It is love hate. It can't be love hate.
That was 14. You sure?
I
Black Flag.
don't know if I
still
like
got
Black Flag.
Flags sitting at the house.
I don't know if I like it. What are your favorite genres?
Probably fighting games and Madden. That's
Yep.
what it comes
You
down
always
to.
circle back to
Just
Madden.
Fighting
when I
games
used to
and
work
Madden,
at
you know.
GameStop,
Yeah.
look just like them people. You got that Madden.
Yeah,
You got 2K, you got the GA5.
Yep. That's it. Every
Yeah,
year.
we know we got them.
Every year, no matter what.
What's the best Madden though?
Oh man.
Dion.
Which one?
Yeah.
What was it?
Ray Lewis on the cover.
It could be. I don't know. What was the one with Michael Vick on the cover?
04.
04?
Yep. Sean Alexander. 06 was McNabb.
Women that.
I know all the covers. Mess with me. Clue me. Clue me.
I don't know. All I know is that when Vic came out, it was just
That's
unfair.
the most unstoppable
you
video
know?
game character.
99 speed with
I
the
thought
99
that-
You could not pick the
arm.
Falcons if you
I
played
thought
them.
that until Lamar Jackson came out and
Lamar- yeah.
can human joystick and
Yeah,
juke.
man.
Shut the game down.
It's nasty. It's nasty. But we like I said, we get a lot of reps on the road.
Ooh, yeah.
So now it's like, it's funny. So my kids we don't really watch many like screens. We don't have them watch a lot of TV, Netflix. They might
It's scary now.
very rarely. If we want to have a movie night, we actually haven't had a movie night in the new house. I don't think so.
Gotta get on that.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like a situation like because they, I've seen kids like on airplanes where you see with the iPads and they're just like zombied out.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, like my kids would never, in the airports, like they're being kids and wild and just running around, and that's what we love. But sometimes you might not want that situation. So I have not, I don't knock any parents for giving their kids like screens and tablets and whatnot just to calm their kids down and get through whatever situation they're in. But for us, we kind of shy away from it. We might show them videos of like what my youngest son has been into is like our entrance that we had. I forget which WrestleMania it was, but out of the Booty O's box.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll let him watch
He
that
said
or whatever.
Booty
you know.
O's.
That's right.
O's.
O's. It's a cereal. They make
Yes.
sure you ain't booty. Yeah.
Oh.
They, FYE and FYE.com, you know, we still like we get a cut, you know? So don't be afraid to buy yourself a box.
I
You
bought a
know?
box of booty O's one time.
So-
O's. He's saying O's. I swear. I promise.
Booty O's one time. And Dallas. For Dallas.
I promise.
Yeah.
There's a t-shirt in it. Though.
Yeah. That's right.
Is there
Had the
somebody
t-shirt.
that you play though? Like, because we got this. Like with me, Swerve, a lot of us, we on the video games, and you have certain games you play with the homies, and it just get ultra competitive.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Or that one person. Who's that one person you play with? Like all the laughing's like, okay, all the jokes are aside.
Yeah, it ain't funny. It ain't fun anymore.
I gotta smoke this dude. Like,
It depends. I feel like we have a good circle of gamers. Probably me and Woods have had a lot of like competition, like especially on Up Up Down Down. You know, like playing Street Fighter. I think we had like a best of 5 or best of 7 or something like that. And it came down to like the last round. Like I battled back. We've done it with like Injustice and whatnot too. Obviously, you know, Mortal Kombat. I think MK9 before. But yeah, you know, because Woods he's a gamer like to the core. You know what I'm saying?
He scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
And then-
we had our episode. He was like, "What game you want to play?" I was like, "I want to play Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
I want to play somewhere I don't have to fight you."
Yeah.
Yeah, like can
Team up.
we work together
Exactly.
Yeah.
for a common cause?
Yeah.
Can we play Fighting Force? Shoot, help me.
Or we get on the UFC.
Listen.
We playing UFC around?
You.
No, I haven't been there for that.
He
Okay.
played
That
UFC.
scares me too.
He played UFC with Cedric one time, and Cedric won. He said, "Babe." Kofi was like, run that.
The walk away. He did the walk away.
Yeah, he said,
I gotta
"You
move.
You walk away.
I gotta move
I was
around.
like,
I
"Babe,
can't
what
control
happened
it."
then?" He's like, he got back on the 6 and he won, but he was like,
Nah,
run
you
that.
can't. Yeah.
back."
Yo.
Let's sit down here.
You know what's serious when somebody
So-
got to
so
play
tell me
like
what to
this
do.
the next round?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it's
Them uncomfortable
Serious, man.
positions
I
you
can't-
gotta be in to be like,
Man,
I'm playing the game.
I'm not a good loser when it comes to video games. I'm not a good loser, and so we used to play UFC all the time, like 1 and then 2, and then E got real good at UFC to the point where like I didn't want to play him anymore. So UFC 3 came out. I downloaded it. I put it on.
Mad, and I don't play.
Oh yeah.
No, he can't. No, he don't want me, man.
I can't.
Yo, that's the longest we ever went without talking.
No.
That had to be-
It's
That's
real.
fighting him
It,
was-
Yeah.
it passed
it's
like
real.
36 hours.
You know,
He
I
needed
didn't
a
know.
break.
Man.
My daddy for a couple months because that's the first game he ever let me play. was
Oh,
Madden.
no.
And that's what I learned on Madden. And then all of a sudden I got better.
Yep.
And then he's like, I don't want to play no more. Like, we went a whole summer. He didn't even speak to me. And then when I saw him the next summer, I was like, all right, Dad, let's play Tony Hawk. And then I dusted. All I did was
Got him.
manuals.
Hey.
What he looking at you like, wait, he didn't play the last one. He's like, wait, why is he doing that on the board? What the? How's he moving? He's moving. What?
Handstand manual.
The score's still going up. Wow. What's this reverb?
Tricks
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Switch your foot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I pulled 2 million point combos.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
running
So
around.
you
Yeah,
got
I
it.
could
You-
I could get the whole board.
Really?
Yeah. Back in the
Man,
day.
what a game, huh?
Right.
Start getting mad.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, all right, you got this one.
Yeah.
Man.
He like stopped. His combo was done. I'm still
Yeah.
around him.
You know, you start losing.
He's like, all right, the score's already ran up.
Already done.
Just land the dang thing already.
He can't jump from this building to that building like that.
He transported and he's still going. What?
Doing all them extra things that you be finding something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what
you
a
have a
game,
special
man.
grind too? What?
Cool to school. You did it.
Oh man.
Game, man.
What else we got on this thing?
You know what? I want to talk about all that.
Yes.
Bruh.
Don't
Oh
do it like
my
that.
God.
Listen,
Fulfilled childhood.
the fulfillment of that. I mean, and wilding out, but especially all that.
Yeah, man.
Look,
It.
take us in. What was that phone call like?
There-
Who called you?
You met
What
Cal,
was
right?
it?
Yeah, we interacted with him like on and not how do I say it, like an intimate level, but we had like a real good scene, and he's just so funny, man, and like the physical comedy, and then so cool and like down to earth. I just like I don't know how to say this without sounding like braggadocious or whatever, but there's some moments where I just step back and I'm like, how is this my job? You know, we have this app that has all of our like appearances and, you know, TVs or whatever. And I look in it one day and it's all that. I said, what? Get the call, hey, we got a non-confirmed appearance for all that. Would you be willing to do it? I said, all that? Like all that? All that? I said, yeah. I said, of course. Like, why would you even ask me that? Is this a trick? Is this a trick question? And before we know it, we're on the set. And, you know, like doing a scene with Kel. Like, what? Like, what is...
Good Burger Kel?
What is going on? You know what I'm saying? And being on, like, Nickelodeon Studios and just unbelievable. And he was just so cool. I think one of my favorite things is when you, like, grow up watching somebody and then you finally meet them in real life and they are as cool as you thought they were. Because there's nothing worse than, like, you meet someone that's like, man, I wish I never met this guy, man, because now the image is tainted, you know? Yeah, it was incredible. Also very similar to, so with the movie that came out on Netflix, the main event, that myself and a lot of other, you know, WWE, NXT guys were but meeting Tashina Arnold, you know.
Yes.
Pam. Like, Pam. Goosebumps, bro. Like,
you said, we were dirt.
That's my baby.
You know?
Lord have mercy. Yeah, I'm good.
Right?
Yeah, I need that. That's love.
Now.
That's
Get him
love.
off now.
Everybody hates Chris.
And she was just so cool and elegant and amazing, and just like her energy was so positive and just like down to earth. And I'm just like, I can't believe that, you know, if I were to go back, 15 years, 20 years or whatever, and tell my younger self that someday this show where this woman is making you laugh, you're going to be on a show with her. You're going to be on a movie set with her. She's going to be like a grandmother who's in love with your character. I'm like, what? Like, the whole thing is just like, you can never predict this, you know? And again, just like meeting her was awesome. The entire staff was awesome. You know, Seth Carr right there, the main character, you know, he was awesome. And a lot of these kids, like, they don't seem like kids when they're on the set because they're so just mature and so good at what they do and so natural, and you see their vibe and they're playing around and they come on screen and it's like, it's just such a natural to have that level of talent at such a young age. I just couldn't believe it. The whole cast, you know, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, she was just so cool. I can't put her over enough.
Lord, man.
Yeah,
I have one in here. Ooh.
That's how I feel when I be doing them Galaxy Cons.
Yeah.
It's a convention
Yeah.
I play Storm.
Oh, yeah.
The cosplay wrestling.
Right.
And one day I was just sitting having lunch, and then next thing you know, like the Ultraman, like he sat down, and then the David Tennant, Doctor Who, and Alex Cooper, and we're sitting down, and I was just like. And then Pauly Shore was right there, and I was like, I'm having lunch with the coolest people on the planet. I'm like, what is this?
Like, what is going on? Like, it's a legitimate like dream sequence that you would have. Oh, you know, I just had a dream. I had Pauly Shore, you know, and all these people around this round table. We were eating lunch together, and then you wake up. But this is like actual stuff that's happening.
Like,
you know,
here?
Crazy. Just so crazy. We met Weird Al at Big Easy Con. You know, like, come on, man. Like, eat it. Like, I'm fat. Like, Weird Al. We're taking a picture. Like, and he hasn't changed. He hasn't aged at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, life is so crazy sometimes, you know. And every now and then you have these moments where it's like, oh, this is a goal that I had, but I could never have set because it's so far out of the box. Where it's like, I'm not gonna set this. Like, you know, it's not possible. You know what I'm saying? And then you're having this roundtable discussion with people.
If you would have told me back in 1997 that Billy Zane would be flirting with me at it, I would lie to you. You would lie. Like, all the characters from DBZ, like, you're like, oh, hey,
I'm not.
Chris.
Right.
Like,
and they're so cool too, aren't they? Like,
they are.
So cool,
They
man.
are.
I met them at a Comic-Con, and same thing, Chris.
I didn't even know he was the voice actor for All Might.
All Might,
I was like, until I looked at
And I didn't realize.
Vegeta is All Might.
Right. He did one thing. It was
You got one, but you got two good characters.
Right.
In your
Icons. Like, I think there was something on Funimation.com where he was doing like birthday rounds in his All Might voice. I was like, why is he doing and it took me a while to make the connection. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait a minute.
I am here. Yeah, I'm like, that's you?
Just do it with a smile.
Yeah, man. So crazy. So crazy. Life is crazy.
That startled me, bro.
Hold on, have you watched
My Hero?
Like,
look, you start, it's over. Look.
I went through the 4 seasons and like,
yeah.
Yep.
You got to watch it. You got to, man.
I'm trying to slow down.
It is.
I'm like,
You don't want it to end.
I'm like,
homework to do, bro. Like,
Yeah, bro, I gotta put you on to so much. We don't
Get
have
on
time.
formation.
We
Look,
always
man.
working, man.
Come on, man. Yeah.
We always working. We putting this together. The music, like
take a break.
Music videos. Like I'm like,
that
we can just
BBZ on, man.
sit down and watch
you
some
got
stuff
My Hero
because I got
Academia
things.
and watch like Parasite.
I
haven't seen Parasite yet.
The movie or the show?
Both of them, but not
The movie's great. I like.
No, not the movie. I'm talking about the anime show.
Never watch it.
Oh, the
Not
show.
even.
Yeah, I seen the movie.
The movie's great.
Too. Yeah, movie is great. Yeah. But yeah.
So into some current events, I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna do something for the viewers, the people that are watching this at home. So, you heard this man's story. You in here right now, and now you in here. I want y'all to understand that this man has gone through so much, his ups and downs, his trials and tribulations, and he's dreamed beyond what he set his goals to be. You can do the same too.
Buzz Lightyear.
Do not limit yourself. Mm-hmm. The whole point of Swerve City Podcast is about building confidence. Mm-hmm. And we invite all these people every episode, every guest that has told their story where they hit their lows, where they struggled, where they didn't believe that they would be somewhere that they are now, and where they're going to be years from now. Because they keep pushing forward and they keep pushing through those walls. Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do. And if there's something you could, like the last thing that you could tell the viewers at home, like as far as like inspiration, words of wisdom, confidence, man.
Literally just that, there's a lot of people that will tell you that you can't. And it's not it's not always because like they don't believe in you. It's because they don't believe in themselves. They can never see themselves doing what it is that you're doing, Coming up, I got involved with amateur wrestling, thinking that it was like WWE wrestling. And I would tell everybody in the school that I was going to be a WWE superstar. I had to gain weight to get to 100 pounds my freshman year to wrestle at 103, And everyone's like, well, you're too small. You're not 6'5". You're not going to, there's no way you could do it. And had I listened to them, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? So, but I believed in myself and I just kept on pushing no matter what. And I tell people all the time, like, there's a stereotypical path that you're supposed to follow. You're supposed to go to high school, graduate high school, go to college, graduate college, and then start working your way up a corporate ladder in some corporation and then work towards retirement. Cool if that's what you want to do. If people like the certainty of that is great. You know what's going to happen tomorrow. You're going to come into your cubicle job, and if you like that, that's great. For me, didn't work. I could have kept on going on that path that was not satisfying, not fulfilling, or do what I chose to do was roll the dice and give my dream a chance, and I'd say, you hear the term like follow your dreams. To me, it's chase your dreams aggressively. You know what I mean? Like you want it. You know what I'm saying? If you saw something that you want, you wouldn't just be walking after it. You would be trying to, at the very least, power walk towards it. Sprint. If you really want it, you try to get it, So that's the path that I chose. And all the people that told me that I was too small and all the people that told me that I wasn't going to make it are now asking me for autographs for their children. So, and it's not something where I'm like, well, you see, I told you so, because that's not what it was all about. It was about me wanting to accomplish something that I wanted to do, and if I didn't follow my dreams, if I didn't chase my dreams aggressively, I wouldn't be here. So believe in yourself no matter what, with all the negativity that people are trying to, project onto you. You got to find a way to just like tune it out and focus, like have that laser focus towards what it is that you want to do and just go do it, And the very least, if it doesn't work out, at least you know that you went all out and you tried to get what you wanted, and then you fall back and you can do whatever it is that you were going to do before. But the other flip side of the coin is if it does work out, it's the best thing in the world. Like this for me, it's almost criminal to call it work. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Yeah. I'm going to work? What? Like you know what I'm saying?
All the
like,
people who said wrestling wasn't gonna pan out, wrestling wasn't gonna do nothing. Guess what? The
checks
is clearing.
They clear
house.
Yeah.
House.
Right.
House.
Like my bills are current. Like
roof.
Ahead.
You see it?
like I'm
you
good.
see it? So yeah, just you just have to find a way to believe in yourself, and it's obviously easier said than done. But if you need motivation, look to anybody on a WWE roster. Look to anybody here. Look to anybody who has made it. Everybody has a story. Everybody's story is unique, but they're all the same in the sense that they had to fight to get to where they want, and they had to take those steps and be brave enough to think outside the box and do something that's outside the box. The rewards. It's great. It is amazing. I get to travel the world, meet so many great people. You know what I mean?
Bruh.
Like do things like this, have interviews. Bruh. Like, come on, man. Like this is life. This is life.
This is life.
This is how life is supposed to be lived. I got a graphic on Swerve City Podcast. Look, and thank you for using like a.
He used good pictures.
There's always like smiley pictures and like Kofi Kingston. You got some aggressive looking pictures.
That's how we attack life.
Mike the
That's
God.
me.
Mike the GOAT.
Mike the GOAT.
Mike the GOAT.
That's it right there. You got.
Y'all gonna have to exchange
You got me looking
information.
frolic. I'm not playing around.
Let's go, champ.
I'm not playing around.
Let's go,
You
champ.
know? Yeah.
Y'all gonna have to exchange informations up in here,
It's
man.
not always about the smile, okay? There's some aggression.
Look at that, look at that.
Looking up. You see it? I'm gonna imitate it right now.
Look at that. Zoom, go closer in on that.
You see it. You see it.
Woo, boy.
It starts with the eye.
Get him.
You look up.
Y'all ain't
Get
ready.
him.
And then you let the chin follow.
Get him.
Ruthless aggression.
You see it. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Current events right now, we got these IG battles going on. Next week, they saying they got Luda versus Nelly.
Yes.
As much as I would like to root for Nelly, I've been a Luda fan since I was yay high, and I don't think Nelly has the hits that stack up to Luda's hits.
It's
Also his features, also the songs that he wrote, also yada yada yada. Just the Fast and Furious
He
soundtracks.
said everything you did, including Murphy Lee's hits.
Hey, throw him on there too.
hey.
We'll give you Shake a Tail Feather. Go ahead, have it.
Man.
With me, just become one with the beat, and don't worry about me stepping all over your feet.
As soon as Stand Up
That's
comes
all he
on,
got to
Oh,
play.
no.
That's all.
Boom.
That's all he got to play, man.
we gonna throw in Murphy Lee's feature and Welcome to Atlanta remix because we gonna need all the help.
and all 3 mixtapes if you can find them. Yeah, I use the mixtapes to.
Man.
At song 12, another gonna be like, "Oh, I wrote this bar for this person." Like, hey, you, bro.
Yeah, I'm currently using I-20's mixtape to balance my couch out there, but I still think take 2 of his best songs and put them up in there with Nelly, and I think he's still.
Bro, I-20 low
Come on, man.
is one of the video game
Not like this.
theme song makers, bro.
Not like
His catalog for video games is up there for like GOAT status. I-20 can get you hype on the video game.
Yo, fighting in the club.
Fighting in the club, like, bro, come on, dog. Like,
Hold on, I ain't gonna fight I-20.
Oh, hold on. We don't want to fight. Hold on. It was just an idea. Oh.
Like, easy, man. I like it. You were good on fight
Somebody
night.
lying on me right now. Look.
You're good on fight night 1. Just leave me alone. But we're gonna take it to the session. This new little thing we trying out. We did it last week and it was a great time. Now that we have this, Swervetron 9000.
Swervetron. Yeah. There it is.
I'm gonna get to the copyright sooner or later. But yeah, we got this nice little thing donated from the Swole family themselves.
Oh.
We're gonna get a roast session going on. Last week we had Austin Theory in here and we roasted sneakers. Some bad sneakers that we saw or we seen growing up in high school, wore maybe. Mm-hmm. What are some bad fighting games? Since you're a fighting game guy, what are some bad fighting games that we can just roast right here on the Swervetron 9000?
Hit him with a left.
Man, it's bad fighting. It's hard, man, because I appreciate the terrible ones too. Like going back, so like Primal Rage is but I appreciated it though,
Yeah,
you know.
what it was worth.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the graphics too, like
it's like getting past all the fight nights until you
yeah.
get a champion.
Oh, what was Knockout Kings?
Knockout Kings was a good game.
That was a good game.
That was a good
right?
game.
What was the one I'm
That was
thinking
a real
of?
good
There was
game.
like 18 boxing games at that time that came out all at the same time. Before Fight Night took off.
Ready to Rumble came out, but that was a good game too.
I was never
Is there
good
such
at
thing as a bad fighting game?
If the boxing game is named after one boxer, is trash.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out? That's not a.
That was a good one.
Well, there you go. See,
That's a classic.
Come on now.
Let's see if we can get that Primal Rage up here because I
Primal
need to
Rage.
spark my
Look, and you have to keep in mind the graphics were ahead of their time at the time. Okay,
At the
like you
time.
go back and play. Actually, it might still hold up. I think we played it on Up Up Down Down. I feel like it still kind of holds
Primal
up.
Rage. What was the one I'm thinking of?
What are you thinking of? I'm
telling you.
No bad fighting games.
Primal Rage. I might be thinking of something else.
I thought
Pit
you had
Fighter
said
was pretty
Power
good.
Stone. Well, I'm about to come across this.
What's that?
Say something about it. Say something about it.
Say something. I get tight lip in here. Everybody in here know what tight lip means.
I'm trying to think of a Primal. There was another fighting game where you like fought as people and then you turned into animals. What was this?
Oh, Bloody Roar?
Yes, that one. That was amazing.
good.
That was it.
I'm telling you,
See,
is there a such thing as a bad fighting game?
Now that was amazing. I don't know what Primal Rage is. That's what I need to see.
Put Primal Rage on there. It was all dinosaurs. Okay,
That's Sega Genesis, right?
Yeah. Sega Genesis.
Okay, so this is
Had like a caveman on there,
man.
or a gorilla. Gorilla. It was ahead of the time. It was ahead of its time.
Primal Rage.
I just have an appreciation for fighting games, man.
What?
Bad games? Look. Hey, come on. It was ahead of his time now.
Who put Rampage in the game?
Look at game. Exactly. That was dope.
I remember using him. All he did was this.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
Oh,
Yeah. That's right.
my kids drew this.
Blizzard. And then you had another two.
If you saw someone playing this at the arcade, it was those exact two characters going at it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
There's nobody else.
There was another another gorilla, but he was like
Magilla gorilla.
Fire
It's
gorilla. I
like
don't know.
playing Killer Instinct. You know,
Killer
they only
Instinct,
play
too.
like one of them. Killer Instinct Gold.
No.
The one with the
Come on,
mohawk crown thing on the cover. That was it.
Chief Thunder,
Yeah.
Glacier, Cinder.
Yeah.
Come on, Jago,
That was a-
Orchid. That was a good game.
That
And
was
the
a fighting
graphics ahead of
game.
its time.
That was a fighting game I never bothered to remember the names for.
Come on, man.
'Cause I was
Bro,
Tekken.
the soundtrack. I still listen to the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had what's the skeleton dude on there? God, why can't I? Yeah. What was his name? Oh, that's really gonna aggravate me.
He looked like the dude from Medieval.
Yeah. But the soundtrack too. I mean, come. I know we're supposed to be talking about. It's supposed to be a roast,
Man.
but you know,
I'm
come
a-
on,
games,
man.
man.
Let me add it. Like
See?
they did this graphics with finger paint. What is going on right here?
This was ahead of it. You got to
There's
keep in
people-
mind.
Why does
We've come a long
people-
way.
Yeah, there's Moana over here.
Yeah. Look at her.
What's going on
The
right
soccer
now?
balls out
If
of
you
meat.
saw a gorilla and a dinosaur fighting, you'd be running around too. You know, you'd be
Now-
trying to get out of there.
Now when the sky's purple,
And
I would be like, hey, what's going on?
You got a pterodactyl over
Right.
here. You
What
know,
is going?
And I sure know wouldn't be carrying no pillow.
well, that might
Save
be
the
all you
pillow.
have.
That's all we
Take
need
the
right
pillow, you know.
You remind me of that scene in Hercules where Hercules messes up the whole entire town. One pillow. There he is. Oh, Samson. You know your power is gone.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Vertigo.
Come on, man.
This is
See?
Primal Rage.
Ahead of its
Like
time.
Nighthawk back then.
Ahead of its time.
What is he? What is happening here?
It's a thing. That's a thing. You see it?
It's a dangerous
That's a thing.
It's a very
Get away
dangerous
from
thing.
it. You don't want to fight. You get too close. Oh,
apparently makes
what
you-
you have over here? And then that's it.
It makes you
see
bleed.
bleeding.
Are these Native Americans?
But listen,
I don't know who's. It's like a Stonehenge, but they're worshiping.
Isn't this in Ireland? Wait, or
I don't know.
Or
Who's to
UK?
say? Who's
Stonehenge
to
is
say?
in UK, right?
It could be.
speaking
You
of,
know.
thinking of Mortal Kombat though, like this brings me to this point. Just thinking about bad
Shut up,
things.
Deku.
One of the bad reviews Mortal Kombat is the one. Which one is the one where you press the buttons, you press L1, you get the weapon at the time?
Oh, Deadly Alliance, yeah.
Was that a lot of people like that? A lot of people didn't like that.
What was the there was a 3D one.
Kung Lao was like kind of like boss in that game when he had his sword. That and Quan Chi's hammer.
Quan Chi, yeah.
His hammer was
Quan
just
Chi was
like
quick too, bro.
Yeah, man.
yeah, he was ahead of his time as
Him,
OP.
all I heard was you cheating.
Cheating.
You cheating.
I don't know. I can't think of a bad fighting game. That's me. You know? I have yet to hear and no one else. I heard someone say yes.
Right, yeah.
Nobody else.
It's
PlayStation.
Okay, well.
Do you call that a fighting game or do you call that a
All-Stars.
Rumble or?
I don't know about that one. I ain't seen it.
Would you call it a fighting game? I don't consider Smash Brothers a fighting game.
I wouldn't consider it a fighting game. Is that a fighting game?
It's a brawl for all.
Brawl?
I got one for you.
Different. That's
Is
different.
Fighting Force a good game?
Have I played Fighting Force?
For 64 PlayStation?
I don't think
I played that with my grandma.
Fighting Force?
Fighting Force?
Can we get a shot? Can we get a shot of Fighting Force? Can we see?
No,
Can we see?
Hawk and Smash. I think that was the name.
Yep, the first one. The second one was just like one dude, and you just like went through levels and stuff. I played that on Dreamcast. Fighting Force 2, like was more the adventure game.
Okay.
Hey now.
Polygons.
Wait, look at
Hawk.
Okay.
AJ Hawk.
Look at my girl with the stapler gun.
You see it?
This is like Die Hard. Bro.
I'm mad because it do.
Titan Tower right here.
That's it.
That's it.
That's why Money in the Bank happened right over there, right down the block. Boom.
Oh, I see Alistair.
You.
Are these guys police? Are they on the police force?
I don't know, man.
What are the
It's just
police cars doing
it's a
back
little
there?
blue car.
What are they doing?
Yeah, look at
Just
him.
gonna let them run around and wreak havoc on the town?
Now, because in
Or are they
Fighting
gonna
Force,
arrest somebody?
in Fighting Force, the cop cars like Cadillacs. You know what I'm saying? So,
Monte Carlo.
Look at him beating up thugs.
I don't know, man.
If I see another cop picking a man up like that, I'm not fighting you. He's
like, bro,
guys, it's time to go.
I just got my basic security license, baby. I wasn't supposed to be doing
With a
all
name
that.
named Smasher. I ain't even messing with you.
Smasher.
I'm not even messing with
He
you.
looked like
he
Jack
does.
from Tekken. They just
He does look like Jack.
Didn't it feel like in PlayStation games, like fighters, they kind of just recycled them from one game?
Right.
Yeah. Especially in PlayStation games.
Oh yeah.
I swear I be seeing Jackson all other
That-
types of video
There's a Jax, there's a Law in every game.
Yeah.
There's a Paul.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And there's a Ryu.
That's right.
Yeah, like because
The headband on. Yeah.
Virtual Fighter, they had in Ryu, they had the same guy. I'm like, what was his name? I don't know. Nobody remembers. I played the hell out of Virtual Fighter. I played the hell out of it.
That might.
Uh-oh, is that the one?
I mean, that's probably the closest one.
We got one.
Because there's a lot of things I would play before Virtua Fighter. You know, Tekken and like even Street Fighter and obviously Mortal Kombat.
What does Soul Calibur rank for you?
I like the earlier Soul Calibur.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
The new one that just came out. We were like heavy into Tekken,
Yeah.
Tekken 7, and we tried to get into it, and then we just kind of kept gravitating back towards Tekken. So I don't know, it just wasn't. Tekken, man, like
I couldn't get into them. Like
it wasn't.
Eve Soul Reaver or whatever it was called. What was that?
Soul Blade.
Soul Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, Soul Reaver was the other one. But yeah, like even at the
Welcome to
hard
stage of history, Mitsurugi.
I'm like, who's talking? This is lame,
The
man.
grueling battle ended with the
Skip.
you fall off into the water off the raft. Oh, you know.
Like,
Yeah, you
you
would
gotta
try to skip
win.
them monologues to be so
Bring
long.
out.
You done made a whole sandwich. You like, you still talking?
Hey,
Stop.
but again, the soundtrack. Come on, man! Don't sleep on that Soul Calibur soundtrack. Bro, I got that on my iPad too.
Oh man.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm trying to think of
Cervantes? Oh no,
Cervantes.
Come on, man.
yeah.
With the two, come on,
I like
man.
Maxie.
The two
Yeah.
swords. Maxie with the
Maxie.
nunchuck. Yeah.
I like Maxie.
Killick with the. Oh,
Anybody with nunchucks?
nah,
on
don't.
the before.
Hey,
Yep. I'm
come
like,
on, man.
what do you got in his hand? Yep. He's my
Just
There we
button
go.
mashing, you know.
Hold up, little Michelangelo.
Yeah.
See, this
On the
looks like
Dreamcast,
Chrono
too.
Cross. This
Yeah,
cover.
it does. It
Like
does.
the covers were cycled too at that
All the
time.
covers were the same.
Yeah, everything was the same.
They just cut Chun-Li monologue hair and just put it in again.
That's also that's also June.
Yep.
That's also Nina. That's also Anna. That's also.
And then the same prostitutes I be running over at Vice City. Just be in the car. Look what you done to me.
Nobody to control it.
It's really automatic.
Hold on, let me back up.
Whatever.
Oh God, I think it.
Oh man, games, man.
I'm gonna have to
Games.
go back and play that now.
Play Bushido Blade?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. One hit. That was like one hit kills.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But, so you had to be strategic with like, and then like wounded. The arm was done.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a game ahead of its time. Way ahead of its
for
time.
sure.
And nobody capitalized on it.
Mm-hmm.
I need that back. But then I'll get pissed because like, like, bro, I wasn't even there.
There it is.
Oh my god. I played Bushido Blade 2. That's the one I had. Yeah.
Well, they drew chalk.
Man, chalk up. All right. Man, get your sword.
Clapping erasers up here. Like, and when I was a kid, I used to like always like my fantasy world went super far, way too in the game. I'm like, what did y'all do? What were y'all doing in this area to have a conflicting argument right here? How do we get to the?
Man, meet me at the bridge, but don't go on the bridge.
Yeah,
in front of the bridge.
That's off
You know I'm scared of bridges. I don't cross bridges.
You know I don't cross them.
But I'll fight you.
But I'll fight you in front of one.
Yeah. So he was on his journey path here. He was going this way. So I'm like, what made y'all get here? Yeah. This is a Sub-Zero outfit. He stole that from Sub-Zero. Lord Jesus. Mm-hmm. They the same person if you think about it.
Well, you got that Aquaman.
It's essentially the same
What's that old
person.
dude off of SpongeBob?
Who?
Which one?
That old dude off of SpongeBob. They were like superheroes.
Oh, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy?
Oh, no.
Man, it's time to take this to a closing, man.
Come on.
Yes, this was a historic episode. We can't thank you enough.
Yeah, no, thank you,
Like,
guys.
seriously, like, I've been saying, like, yo, I think I can get Kofi to do this.
Yeah, man. No, I'm always down.
And I was like, what a great spirit you have, man. Energy.
Yeah.
You made everybody in here's day. Week, month, year, life.
Come on, man. Come on. Yeah,
You
he's
You was alright.
You gonna be on the scale.
Yeah,
You
you
just-
get something today, though.
You was alright. You cool.
She said,
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
you cool?
Oh, man. Nah, thank you guys for having me on.
From
This
the
has been
bottom
a
of my
blast,
heart,
so.
thank you
Yeah,
for coming through, man.
my pleasure.
Like, you got 1 million followers. You don't need to plug the stuff.
Yeah.
But say something to the camera. To the people at
Yeah,
home.
yeah. You know, if you want to follow me on the Twitter, you can follow me at True Kofi. On the Instagram at The True Kofi. And always check out our New Day Pod. You see the shirt, the cross promotion, you know. Our episodes come out pretty much once a week on Mondays. You know, you can download wherever you get your podcast. You know what I'm saying? How much said Stitcher. Oh, yeah. Go to shop, WWE.com, you know. And
Not that hard.
You see it. Yeah.
My
It
apologies.
should be up there.
And
You
also,
know?
my apologies for everybody in the NXT page tagging your name, thinking it's me.
Oh no, it's a lot of us. You know, we all
Yeah.
just get looped in
I'm
the
just-
same,
So
in the same. You know,
Like
it's
Chris Bay
it is
on
what-
Lil
it's-
Bro.
that's right. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, matter of fact, I told Chris Bay. I saw because you know he was an extra one time. You know, I said, hey, I've been thinking about dyeing my hair. You know,
You told him? See,
yeah. I said, yeah, come on, man.
And he did it.
I said, it looks good. You might see me, you know. He's like, oh, people already confused us. I'm like, you know, we throw us in the same hat. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, shout out to Chris Bay for being the guinea pig. And I bit his style. I did it. Yeah, I said it. You know?
I've been official. I've been here.
Are you beneficial or are you been official? Yeah. We already biting finishing moves, but moving on.
my.
So, I said it. It's my show.
A lot of
Come
heat.
see me.
Oh my. I'm getting hot. This
Kid.
is awkward. Yikes.
Anyway. Anything y'all got going on? Y'all need the plugs?
Teasy Scott, Instagram, Twitter, you know.
Hey, bring up the graphic of the album, bruh.
Come on,
Still
man.
streaming. Oh, he's on.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Go Mike.
wow. Look
You
at
know.
y'all.
On all digital platforms. Just make sure you cop that. It's
Spotify.
$9.99, man. Y'all got
iTunes.
$10. Y'all spend $10 on worse. Go ahead and cop this.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
unsubscribe to a subscription for a month.
There you go. Except Spotify. That's where you're gonna need this. You know what I mean? Go ahead and cop that.
Featuring the
Great
likes
body of work,
Leo
man.
Rush.
The most buff,
Mega Ran's on
young man.
Mega Ran's featured on here.
Mega Ran's on here.
Yeah.
Yours truly,
Nikki Fax.
Big Swole is on the track.
She on the track.
Doing
Y'all
the
got bars.
Songbirds. Oh,
Okay, y'all got
we
bars.
wrote the whole album
Okay.
together. Took a year to do it. A month on
Wow.
a song per song. Literally,
Putting in
listen
work.
to this journey that we put on this album
so
in a
Kofi,
musical melody.
I'm gonna text Mega Ran. You next.
Oh, for what?
Studio.
Yo,
Oh, it's right there.
You want to
right there now.
sell records, right? You want to sell records. Yeah, you're not
Hey,
trying to like,
according to
drive
what's on
people
the
away.
radio now, brother, it couldn't be any much worse.
I'm not a rapper. What do you say?
Neither
You know what I'm saying?
all of them.
Yeah, majority of them people. Yeah.
But yes,
Nah, man, that's not for me.
I
but be
got you,
confident in
man.
everything
I'll
you do,
listen to
everybody.
Wash ass.
Or you gonna get a pop.
Hey,
Oh.
hey. And we did it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.